My next guest is a man who has experienced all kinds of trouble in his life, from conflict in his home country to struggles for opportunities in his adopted country. He rose to become an award-winning songwriter for Zahara, from car guard to hip-hop hitmaker. Tresor, born in the Democratic Republic of Congo, moved to South Africa 7 years ago. He joins me to share his ups and downs of life, as well as the rise to music stardom. Yeah. Tresor, pleasure to meet you.
No, it's
and
such an honor to be here, so thank
join
you.
us and talk to us. 7 short years. What a remarkable story.
Thank you, sir.
Remarkable story.
No, thank you very much for having me here today.
Were you already performing in the DRC to crowds and so on before coming to South Africa?
Yeah. I think it was more of a hobby for me growing up, but I picked up like my first musical instruments when I was about 8 years old. So I used to play. First I was a drummer, then I started learning, just teaching myself playing some guitar and singing as the years went by. Yeah. So I've been performing since I was about 9, 10 years old, and different bands in my hometown.
Sure. Yeah. And then you came to South Africa, but in no time you were already writing music for the likes of Zahara, a very celebrated performer. How did you make contact with her and get to be involved in
I think for me, everything is about destiny, and I've been really fortunate and blessed enough to meet a lot of amazing South African people that have really opened their arms and opened the doors to let me in and support my music. I mean, with Zahara, literally, it happened in a very, very funny way. I knew the producer, Jakes, from a long time ago. I knew him not really well, but I missed my flight. I used to come to Joburg to hustle, with maybe one-way ticket.
Yes.
And if I'm lucky enough, maybe make another 1,000 and be able to go back. So I missed my flight, and I was just really sad at Tambo. And I managed to get another flight that night. And when I landed in Durban, and he was at the airport, and I'm like, hey, man, what are you doing here? He's like, no, I'm recording Zahara and Tando. I'm like, look, can I submit some songs? He's like, yeah, sure. Call me in 2 days' time. Yeah. So I went home and just wrote some stuff. And when I met him in a few days' time, he heard the stuff, and for them, it's like, we want this music.
And he gave you the right contact details and so on, because,
everything.
People who work with the stars will say, okay, well, just, phone me and give you wrong numbers.
Jake's such an amazing guy. I actually played the other day. I was in Dublesonville and played at his wedding, played one of my songs. So we became really good friends.
Yes. So when you gave him your songs and he was impressed and said, most definitely, we've got to record these songs.
Yeah, they loved the song. I met with Robbie Malinga. I met with TK from TS Records. And the song came out really amazing that I got invited to join her on the 13th City Tour of Nedbank in 2013. Uh-huh. And that for me was amazing because I played with Tresor, Mbuli,
yes,
and many other artists touring throughout South Africa. It was such an amazing experience.
No, that was a wonderful story. But I mean, I have to go back to your being a car guard, because you know how people view people who would do those kinds of jobs, right? Yes. You came to South Africa and all you could do is to hang around parking lots as a car guard?
That's correct. I think, it's a very tough situation for any young man when you move from your country of origin, yes, whether you're from South Africa, from Congo, or from the US, to adapt into a new city, especially if you do not have the right education, yes, or do not speak the language in that country. Yeah. So I came here with that knowledge of English whatsoever.
With
no knowledge of
knowledge whatsoever?
Whatsoever. I speak French and Swahili.
Yeah, I could imagine, but now, I could take for granted that you've been speaking English all your life.
No, thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the best I could get at that time would either be a car guard or a security guard. And other young men will resort to doing crime because it's the easiest
sure.
way, So I could do that and could manage to survive, pay my rents, with other people I was staying with.
So how did you do that? For how long did you do that for?
Between end of 2000, early 2008 to mid 2008. So, but I arrived here to the end of 2000. I think it was in November 2007.
Sure. And then now, the turning point happened when you met Jakes. Is that it?
Yeah.
And
I think. Look, my life has been such a gradual evolution, and everything is really happened at the right point and really contributed to the momentum that I have today as an artist.
Sure.
I mean, before Jakes and them, in 2010, I was actually in Joburg, try as well do my hustles I used to do before. I'd take a bus and sleep in the bus, come here, and trying to meet as many people as I can, and then go back the same night. I managed to sign my first worldwide deal, publishing deal with Universal Music Group. As for me, that was a big break as a songwriter.
Which happened as a result of what? Of the songs that you had written for?
Not really. Way before,
you just went to them and proposed them?
They're like, hey, look, I have these songs I recorded already. I sent to managing director. I was just lucky. I called Universal offices.
So how do you work? I mean, when you write a song, what do? You just do a demo, or you write the lyrics, you write the notes? What do you do?
So as a songwriter, I write the song, I write the melodies and the lyrics.
Yeah.
So in my early days, what I do after finishing a song, I'll go into studio. I'll find the cheapest studio and maybe spend 100 or 200 rand and just spend an hour basically playing the songs live on guitar. So I send those kind of recordings to Universal, and they really love them. It's like when I hear more.
And they signed you just like that?
Yeah, and they signed worldwide, four-year worldwide publishing deal as a songwriter. And they've been such an amazing support. Actually, when I was in London, I think 2 months ago, I met...
Hey, man, come on. London? No, you're doing what? As a car guard?
No. I met the managing director for Universal. So they've really helped, man.
Yeah.
Things have really, I think for me, it's been such an amazing process and a humbling experience.
It is, you know, because many people would lose hope, would lose faith, would give up and say, my life is going nowhere, right?
Yeah,
you had this dream when you were still a child, came here looking for opportunities, but you had to go and start at a place where one would say is the lowest of the low.
It is the lowest when you look at it. It is really the lowest, and I'm really proud that I did it.
Yes.
You know, at that time it was not really cool because I'm young, and you're not really looking cool, in front of young.
Now tell me the story of your song that in Europe is a hit now, I'm told, and you did very well in Italy. There's another story again.
Yeah, so I released my first single off my new album called 7. The album features AKA, Bittenberg, Kulichana, and The Soil. Every artist featured on my album, we never actually paid them a cent. So they did out of passion, they heard the music, and they wanted to be part of the project.
So how did you invite them to be part of your production?
I think it was...
By then they already knew about you, I suppose.
Yeah. Some of them knew, like obviously AKA, I have the same management team as him. Some of them knew my work with Zahara, and some of them knew the work I did with Heavy K already. So it was such an amazing experience that artists really were very embracing.
Sure, which is a great thing. But I want to talk about the way the track exploded in Italy and other parts of Europe. You tell me a bit more about that.
It was such an amazing, I think for me, big surprise. So last year I released my first single off my album, which features AKA. And a few months later, we got a call from a guy from Italy saying, hey, we heard the song on YouTube, we'd love to license for Europe. And the guy kept calling. We never really took it serious. So eventually we put him in touch with Universal Publishing, which looks after my music copyrights, and starting sending emails, and then lawyers were involved, and then contracts were signed. And then after they got the permission, 6 weeks later, the song was #1 in the country.
In Italy?
Yep.
And what happened other parts of Europe?
So what happened is that actually by that time my music hasn't really picked up in South Africa.
Sure.
So the way this conference in Ibiza, where a lot of guys from here heard the music.
In Spain?
So they came back and started playing. So
it was released here, but they had it in Spain, and then they came back?
Eventually I signed for Sony Africa, throughout Africa here. And then some majors which signed Calvin Harris and Avicii, which are really big dance acts, heard it in Ibiza as well. So they got in touch. So that's how I signed my worldwide deal with Ultra, which will be releasing my music throughout North America, South Asia, and Australia. And
you've already traveled around to support your music?
Yeah, so I did a big show actually in Italy in August, and for like 60,000 people. It was crazy. And I did another show with Benny Benassi and other big DJs in Milan as well.
Yeah.
So it's been amazing. I've been to UK and stuff, so it's really been really good.
You know, there's a lot of lessons in what you're telling me now. For you, as a life story and having to perform before 60,000 people, your music being released in Italy, places that you probably were not thinking of releasing the music there. And other people coming together, Universal Music with copyrights, all of those things. how do you feel and what do they remind you of, all of these
Man,
events?
to be honest, I'm so humble, man. That's all I can say. I'm thankful, I'm humbled. Because one of my main beliefs in life, the most hardworking people are not the most rewarded people, you know. And there are people that are working right now like 12 kilometers underground in mines. They still don't make the most out of their lives, you get what I mean? So it's a blessing to be in a position that I'm at, you know, right now. And I'm really grateful. I'm just an orphan guy from a little town called Goma, and suddenly, you know, I'm carrying this flag for like African pop music right now, like around the world, which is amazing, you know.
And isn't life strange? I mean, you have, as I said, the struggles which carry pain with themselves, and you hustle, you try to force your way just to make a living, but in the same time, you try to express who you truly are through your passion.
That's correct.
And then there you are, it becomes a big thing.
Yeah, so I think one lesson I learned in my life very early was that, you know, I was young, I lost my parents very young, and as like the first boy in the family, I was like, you know, I'm gonna make peace with my choice in life, which was music. I wanna do music whether I'm rich, poor, or my whole life. I don't really mind, okay, as long as I'm happy. So, and I think that peace within really helped me, you know, overcome a lot of obstacles. And I'm actually really looking forward to a lot of things this year. So I just got nominated for the Metros awards.
You know what? Now you mentioned, I will tell people when I go around that I know a car guard in my life who went on to become an international star.
Sir, I'm grateful.
And you must remember my name too, Tresor. I'll remember yours.
Tim Modise, all the time.
Good. All right. Thank you. It was great talking to you, Tresor, and I know you are destined for even greater things. And
No, thank you.
I wish you very well.
No, thank you. It's been such a blessing being here.
An inspiring story that of Tresor, who never allowed the burdens of life put him down and carried on. And now he's on the march to superstardom. Tresor.